All right. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. This is Kenny J with G.O.B.E Trade House. I'm going to welcome everybody to Coffee in the Morning with G.O.B.E. We do this call every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m., giving you motivation, inspiration, and strategy. Very excited to be on with our G.O.B.E Trade House family, our G.O.B.E Trade House Foundation. All right. And listen, guys, we're coming off Run Up the Bag Challenge trade number 4 and 5 last night. All right. And just so I can see the overall group, okay, if you made some money last night and you hit TP, you ran up the bag last night, let's get some dollar signs in the chat if you held those trades. Swiss franc JPY and GBP JPY, let's get some dollar signs in the chat. That's right. That's right. We are 4 for 5 on the Run Up the Bag Challenge. 4 for 5 on the Run Up the Bag Challenge. All right, tonight we're going to continue with our next couple trades. So I hope you attend our Asian session, okay? And that's pretty much where I want to start off the call. I wanted to start off the call with the trade review on both of our trades. But before I do that, I just wanted to see if we have any new members in the house right now. If this is your first time attending a Coffee in the Morning with G.O.B.E, or you're just now getting started inside of G.O.B.E Trade House, let's get a 111 in the chat. You can get give us a 111 in the chat if you're just now getting started, or is this your first time on a Coffee in the Morning with G.O.B.E? Right, we have Jamal Littleton, welcome. Roger P, welcome. Any other new people in the house? First time on Coffee in the Morning with G.O.B.E, or if you're just now getting started in G.O.B.E Trade House, 111 in the chat. All right, Lewis, welcome. We have Cedric, welcome. All right, perfect. All right, so G.O.B.E Trade House, guys, you know how we do. We want to go ahead and welcome in our new family members on their path to financial freedom. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Type welcome in the chat. Screen welcome. Welcome everybody to the team. Welcome, welcome.
Welcome to the family. Congratulations.
Welcome to the fam.
Financial freedom.
Let's go, Jamal.
Welcome.
There you go.
Welcome. Guys, as you can see, we try to create an environment, all right, where you celebrate it, not just tolerate it. Please understand that you did not just join a business. You joined a brotherhood and a sisterhood. We are a financial fraternity that practices group economics by using Forex education and trade signals sent out by our sniper analyzers, all right? And so definitely you're part of the right environment. I always say 90% of your success or your failures are gonna come from the environment you choose to put yourself in, okay? So what you need are two things. You need the environment and then you need the vehicle. So you have the environment inside of G.O.B.E Trade House. Everybody here is willing to help you, all right? All you gotta do is ask around, communicate in our paid members chats, attend our calls, our live sessions, all right, attend our Coffee in the Morning with G.O.B.Es, and you are on your pathway to success. It's all about repetition. It's all about participation. Tie yourself into culture. That's my best advice to you as a new person, and make your schedule within the schedule. All right. But definitely welcome to our family. All right. And definitely we're always expanding. So anybody else, you're enjoying your experience inside of G.O.B.E Trade House, you know, share it on your Facebook page. Tell some people in your family of what we have going on over here, because it is something very powerful to see so many people helping each other win in this program, okay? So with that being said, we do have a powerful call this morning and some important information we want to drop. But like I said, first and foremost, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start off with a trade review on Swiss franc JPY, all right? Swiss franc JPY, this is my favorite pair, okay? My favorite pair for a reason. We hardly lose on this pair. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. This pair has some very obvious market structure, okay? But you just have to make sure that your markups are good on the pair using our 8 confirmations, and more than likely you're gonna win on this pair, okay? Because of how it moves. So as you can see last night on the hour chart, just going back in time a little bit, just a little bit on this pair. Let me push back. We go to the 4 hour. Anybody who's been on the calls, I mean, you've seen these marks over and over again, and we've just been hawking this pair and taking advantage of all the moves in the market. All right, let me take off that 10. All right, so now we predicted eventually this move in the market, this big M, okay, this double top. All right, where it reached 2 higher highs in the market and ended up dropping to a lower low. we predict that this is eventually going to happen with this pair. All right, it's just a matter of time until it does happen. Oh, let me delete this. We already won. Boom. So now what ended up happening on this pair, it did something in the market which we like to call a triple top. Well, this is kind of a quadruple top, but which is nothing more than an extra form of confluence or confirmation that we are at a high point. So you see these X's here. This is our reliable resistance zones. And what ended up happening was it shot up. All right, kind of did a double bottom here, shot up, hit our higher high, and now it's starting to drop. All right, and started to complete that structure, which we eventually think was going to happen. Down here, you guys see our Pathfinder. I think that we're going to be able to hit this pair level for level all the way to Pipsville down here eventually. I mean, this could happen over months, but we're going to catch all the moves in the market over a period of time, right? So what we found last night was an opportunity for a sell. And the reason why, you kind of go to the 1 hour chart now. The reason why, when I put on the sniper analyzer here, you guys see where the move happened in the market, where where the 50, we had an hour candlestick cross below our 50 moving average line. Since then, this 50 that used to be a reliable support has now become resistance and has been respected. So all we're doing is market structure. We're going off what the market is giving us here, okay? So you see that this is now a reliable resistance zone. It's dropping down, hitting a lower low, okay? And then boom, respecting that zone, hitting a higher high, but not breaking it. And then the same thing, drop down, hit a lower low, and then it pops up, respecting it again, but not breaking our 50. Boom. Same thing. That's all we did, guys. It did it right here again. Lower low, higher high. Now, this is where I saw the move. All I wanted to do is get a nice retest right here, which it did. You guys see this wick? Okay, that's the doji candle. It's a fake out. Okay, it made it seem like it was going to shoot up. All right, and it faked out. It did not break our reliable resistance zone right here. Okay, all it did was did a fake out. And this is last night, whenever we got a little pullback on this pair. If I go to a smaller time frame, see, if you were somebody, if you're an impatient trader, you get a little scared and you get out this trade, okay? Because what's going to end up happening is you start to see your account in the negatives, because we got in right about here, or right about not here. We got it right about, oops. Let me delete that. We got in right about here, okay? So we did have a little pullback. This doji candle, it pulled back, it hit our zone, but all it did was just hit a U-turn and did exactly what we predicted to do. And the sniper analyzer was on point as usual. We got a sniper sell entry right here. So it pulled back maybe around 8 pips, 7 or 8 pips, and that was it. But look how much cushion we had. We have a 30 pip cushion. What are we worried about 8 pips for, right? We have a 30 pip cushion above all of this beautiful market structure. Resistance zone 50, all right? Our next level up here, which is another resistance zone. So all that beautiful market structure, we knew that it was not going to break all that before it just gave us a quick 10 pips. And then look what happened. We got that nice drop, all right? We got that nice drop below our 50. The sniper analyzer called it. Gave us a slight retest. And it dropped. By the time it gave us our retest, we already got our 10 pips, as you can see. Done. 10 pips done if you have a TP. But for those who didn't have a TP set, this would have been a great place to add a trailing stop loss. And look what happened again. Same thing. Dropped, respecting our zone, just like it has done in the past. Now it popped back up. Look, it's respecting the 50 again. So the sniper analyzer caught it again. And now we have another drop that's happening. So God, what do you think was going to happen next? We're just going to ride it. By the time the Asian session comes around, we might have another pullback. All right. By the time it gets, the 50 is going to end up being possibly about right here at that point in time. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to catch it again on a sell. That's another reliable resistance zone that has been respecting. And every single time the sniper analyzer is catching it, and we're catching it too. Okay. So if you're still in this pair, you're in tremendous profit. In fact, you should be at least 60 pips in profit if you're still in this pair. Maybe more than that, sorry. Currently, this pair from last night is up 67 pips. All we wanted was 10. All we wanted was 10. All right. So guys, this is just dropping level for level. I've been hawking this pair for a long time. I know what's going to happen on this pair. I'm going to keep these marks up. I'm expecting the pullback, and we're going to hop in this for another sell as it drops to a new level, possibly tonight, depending on how it goes. All right. So boom, that is the that is our pair. All right, Swiss franc JPY is a beloved pair. G.O.B.E. You know, we win a lot on this pair, so we're going to continue to hawk it. All right, so that was a winning trade for us on trade number 4. Okay, the second here. Shout out to our brother Vincent. Vincent is on last night after we do our calls. After we do our Asian session or Asian session call, a lot of the sniper analyzers we get on and we talk business, and we also still look at some of our pairs. Vincent last night, he saw this pair, British pound JPY, and we saw an opportunity on this pair when he spoke about it. Okay, and we said, look, we need to go ahead and hop in that now. Okay, because it was a great opportunity. He was already in profit, so all of our sniper analyzers, we agreed on it. And we got in this pair, and it worked out very, very good. So shout out to Vincent on that good call last night on this pair, British pound JPY. So last night, right around, it's around this time frame whenever we got in the pair. All right. Our sniper analyzer gave us a nice buy entry. All right. And we had our 50 moving average cross above our 50. We had a bullish candle cross above our 50 moving average. We got our retest right here. And we got a slight pullback. See, we kind of went to the negatives a little bit. I think we went to the negative, maybe around 10 pips, right in that range, 10, 11 pips. All right. It's a little slight pushback, but you can expect that. But look at all that cushion. We had a really nice stop loss. Our stop loss was set right around 30 pips. We only pushed back roughly around 10 pips, 7, 8 pips. So that's not bad, right? 10 pips, exactly, right there. That's all the pushback we had on that pair. That's it. And now if you were holding this pair, if you were patient, after it pushed back, you see what happened next. It took off to Pipsville, just like Swiss franc JPY. One candle in 1 hour. You had this one candle, that discouraging candle, negative 10 pips. And then we had this positive bullish candle, all right? And in 1 hour, it smashed our TP. And then now see what it's doing right now. It came all the way up to resistance. All right, and it came all the way down for a nice retest. And this is where we currently are in the market right now. So what we're doing right now, we're waiting for our next breakout. I can mark this up a little later, and our snipers will mark this up a little later, because I think we need to create a price channel on this, because the next move on this pair, this is going to be the next move on this pair. If we could get a break and a retest here, then we should be able to enter a new zone, because it's continued to create higher highs. So the two moves I want to take on this pair is either going to be right there. So you could probably do a cross up alert right here. all right, get a nice break and retest, we'll enter a new zone, and we'll be headed to that new zone of resistance, right? Or the next thing, this would have been perfect, but we missed it. But if it happens again, we'll catch it. You see how it came down and retested, but it respected our 50. That would have been my second entry that I would have did a cross down alert on, but we missed that one. So I either want to see this break and retest right here, we get us a nice buy signal, or I want to see it come down and retest at 50 again, try to give us a fake out like it did last time, and we'll catch a buy right here as well. All right, so these are the two moves I want to take. I'm not looking for sells on this. This pair has been extremely bullish for some time, no reason. And when you do not want to take any sell signals on anything moving in an uptrend, okay, with bullish pressure. You don't want to take any sell signals and get caught in that, especially when it's this obvious and we have that beautiful market structure and we have so many respected zones, okay? You see that is respecting our 50 over and over and over again, our reliable support zone, okay? So this was a great call last night. We're 4 out of 5 on the run up the bag challenge. Very excited about that. All right, so we're going to continue to run up the bag challenge tonight, and these are our trade reviews. All right.
Woo woo.
Good work, brother. All right, so other than that, so I'm going to go ahead and keep the call going. I want to bring up my brother Mike Spycheck. Mike Spycheck has had an interesting experience recently that we wanted to discuss on Coffee with G.O.B.E, because there's a lesson in everything, especially in trading Forex. And one of the lessons that you could really learn, one of the best lessons that you could learn, are from other people. When you see in other people having success, all right, success leaves clues. But also when you're seeing other people, when they have an experience, sometimes in even a loss, and they could teach you something within a loss as well. Remember, we don't take losses, we learn lessons, all right? But Mike had a very interesting experience, so I wanted to bring Mike up so we could talk about his account recently. So Mike, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
Man, doing pretty good. I need a cup of coffee. My Bustelo is over there getting hot right now, so I'm about to go grab some here.
I'm on number 2, so.
I'm jealous. I'm so jealous. So Mike, let me ask you a question, brother. Just before you start off and start speaking your piece, okay?
For sure.
So recently you were trading a particular profile, and what was your original trading account balance that you started with?
So prior to last week, I had started an account with about $5,000 in it, and then I took that account to 8,000. And then inauguration week, I got stuck in some trades because the market went crazy. That 8,000 went all the way down to 1,500, and I was able to bring it back to about 4,000, and I cut my losses at 4,000. So I was at 50% of that account balance at 4,000 as of last week.
50% of the account balance. So after that, if I recall, something special happened, right? Yeah. After you grew the account back. So I'll let you take it from there as far as what happened on the account, and then you tell the story. So I'll just play the background.
Yeah, no, for sure. So basically, like I said, I was at 4,000, and then I saw Alfonso on fire over there, and he kind of sparked a little something in me. So basically, it's kind of weird, and that's why I really wanted to jump on the call today and talk to like some of the new traders and stuff too, because like I talked about last week, you have to find your identity as a trader. The challenge that I face is that I am probably, if not the most, I am probably one of the most riskiest traders that you guys will come across, right? And it's not that I just blindly trade, it's that I trade a certain way, but like I go for the gold. Like if I see an opportunity, like I jump in and I just run with it. So again, that's why you're never gonna see me throwing out calls and stuff like that, because I'm super risky, and I know that going into the trade, right? So last week, I saw a couple opportunities and I took them, and it really won. I won, right? So I think it was last Thursday. I made 5K, and then I believe Friday I made another 4K. So in those 2 days, I made 9 grand basically, which took my account then up to 13,000.
Let's
So
go.
yeah, exactly. Um, the challenge behind that is okay, now you're confident, right? Like now you're like, okay, I know how to trade. But I promise you, every time you get that confidence, the market's right there to put you right back in your place, right? Um, so what happened was after I took those 2 trades, it gave me my boost of confidence back because I'll be honest, like we all get in ruts sometimes, and it's hard. Sometimes it's hard. You get stuck, and you're like, man, why am I not able to win these trades? You know, and being completely transparent with you guys as one of the main people in G.O.B.E, I still don't utilize and I don't take advantage of all the resources that we have. And I know that may be hard for some of y'all to comprehend, but I'm so busy sometimes working on the back end that I don't get to jump on the calls. And then at nighttime, you know, I have a wife, so my wife works 12-hour days. So when she gets off of work at 8 o'clock and she comes home, I don't jump on the calls at nighttime. You know, I don't jump on the I don't jump on any of the sessions at nighttime basically because I'm spending time with her. Now I understand that really it's, you know, I in business, you know, we have a philosophy or we have a saying that says, you know, how bad do you want it? Either find a way or make a way, right? So if I'm being completely transparent with you guys, these are all excuses, right? If I really wanted to utilize all the resources that we offer, I could, but I choose not to because I choose to spend my time doing different things, you know. So I say that because if you're single and this is really what you're trying to do, you have no excuses, right? Like there's nothing that you can say that is going to convince me that you don't have time to utilize everything that we offer. But again, so I say that because I choose to spend my time, you know, not utilizing it. And so with that, I miss out on a bunch of stuff myself, right? I miss out on hanging out with the master analyzers and jumping on these calls. And I wake up in the morning and I check the chat and everybody's throwing out money signs. And I'm like, damn, everybody got money signs. All I got was Z's, right? I was sleeping. So, yeah, so I see that. And sometimes I feel some type of way. And I know that I need to utilize what we have. But again, it's just that choice. It's making that choice. And your choice as a trader is the same thing, right? You choose what trades you jump in. You choose what trades you pass up on. I'm a very risky trader. I trade zones. So really all I'm looking for, I do a top-down analysis. I'll start with the day, go to the 4-hour, 1 hour, 15-minute, 5-minute, and I'm marking up zones. And that's how I trade. If I see something like XRP right now, just it's bouncing off of a resistance level, I'm gonna jump in before I need to jump in, but that's just how I trade. I don't utilize stop losses in most cases because I'm a very risky trader, and I understand that when something goes up, it must come down, and if it goes down, it must come up, right? The caveat to that is, can your account support that? And basically, when I showed you guys last week, I took a big hit. And Kenny, I don't know if you wanna ask me some questions before I get into that. Anything specific before we kind of transition into that, I'll let you pick up.
Yeah, you could go. You could go right into it. Now, when you hear Mike's numbers, okay, when you hear Mike's numbers, the purpose of him bringing this up is because there's a lesson in it. Okay, he's being transparent about his experience. You know, both sides of the fence. Taking 1,500 to 13,000 in a matter of a couple of days is a pretty big deal. Okay. But once that happens, like we always say, guys, you have to control your greed, your patience, and your discipline. And I think Mike, what he's going to be able to identify what happened in order for him to either sustain that or to start, taking back from it. And I've done this a lot of times too. So when I hear people talking about their experience on growing a small account to a big account and then blowing it or losing it, it's just all resonated with my soul. I've done this many a times to land to the place where I started to become better in that area. So you go ahead, Mike, and just dive all the way into it, brother, because I think this is important for everybody to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. And so just to kind of preface, before we created Go.B Trade House and stuff like that, I know I told y'all we started me, Kenny, Carlos, we all started trading together around 2014, 2015. And we all kind of did our own thing. We didn't know what we were doing. We were trying to learn from different people and paying people to send us signals that didn't work out and stuff like that. Well, a couple of years ago, I actually I was learning from another person. I thought, what's the harm in that, right? So I found somebody that I started learning from, and this particular person only traded the 4-hour chart, right? So it was the 4-hour chart, and we traded with very minimal lot sizes. Once I kind of got in a rhythm and I really started understanding more, that's how I learned not learn how to trade, but that's how I started trading. I started picking up habits that, I was learning from him, and I was doing decent, right? So I didn't understand how to really do a top-down analysis. I was doing a daily and a 4-hour analysis on my charts. And so when you're doing that, you miss out on these sniper entries, right? Because the 4-hour chart can look like it's bouncing off of a support or resistance line. But then when you break it down, like, you're in the middle of another zone at that point, and your entry can go either way. So once I learned how to do a top down and I started really going into like the smaller charts for entries and stuff like that, I started getting a little better and more specific with my entries. But so basically what happened last week is, after I took this account to 13 grand, I saw a huge opportunity on XRP. And I took an entry, right? And I was in that trade for 2 days. I was 90% sure of where this target was going to go. And so what happened was I placed the entry, it went in my favor, and then it came back down and tested my entry. I placed another entry. It went back up, it came back down and tested. I took another entry. And the thing was, I was very, very aggressive about my lot sizes. These weren't 0.01 lot sizes. I was doing 0.5, 0.5, 0.25. And then what happened is it broke the support level and went down against me. And so what did I do? I took another entry because I was 90% sure it was going to where I wanted it to go. Well, needless to say, I took 8 positions in XRP, and they were all very aggressive lot sizes. And what happened was
What was your lot size, Mike? What was your lot size?
Yeah, they were 0.5, 0.5, 0.25. I had a couple of 0.1s. Like, there was nothing under a 0.1, right? Okay. So they were $1 and up. Well, what happened was it got down to the 4-hour support level underneath my entry. And sure enough, again, I wasn't using any stop losses. What happened was, man, it basically wicked out, and it margin called me. It closed out all 8 of my positions at the same time. And when I'm talking about, like, I just happened to be in the car, my wife's driving, and I pull up the account, and all of a sudden I see my account go from 13,000 to 1,800. My heart dropped. There was a couple of cuss words in there, but yeah, my heart dropped, right? So, but let me tell you what, the next day, it hit my target. That would have been a $15,000 hit, but instead I lost 12 because I got margin called. The lesson behind this for me, hindsight, I didn't think I was being greedy. I thought I was being a smart, aggressive trader because it was bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. And so I was just stacking. Hindsight, had I not taken 8 positions, had I taken 7 positions, I would have been in the trade. That eighth position took me out of the trade when it went against me. So instead of making, if I would have only been in the trade, say, I think it was like 4 or 5 positions, I still would have made 7 or 8 grand. But I took out double the positions because I wanted to make double the money, and I wound up losing all of it. So, yeah, you know, it was a punch to the gut. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was depressed for about an hour. You know, my wife had to be like, "Hey, let's go out and let's go walk around the lake." And I'm like, "Nah, I don't want to get up. I don't want to go walk. I don't want to do nothing. Just let me soak right now." And she was like, "Nah, come on, let's just go." So we went on a walk, and as we were walking, like, it kind of just faded out, and I was good. But yeah, it sucked because I was like, "Damn, that was a nice." I was about to hit a lick, and I just, hindsight, it was greed. I didn't think it was greed while I was trading, because I was like, oh, it's just gonna bounce. And even then, those 2 days that it was bouncing back and forth, it was just ranging. Had I sold at the top and bought again at the bottom, I would have still made 6 grand, or 7 grand without holding it and just going back and forth. But yeah, so I just say that because, again, find your identity as a trader, and don't get greedy. You have to understand, and for me, it was an expensive lesson, but now I understand that I can't be greedy, and when I think I'm just being aggressive, I'm probably being greedy. So yeah, it was just and I told my wife, it was an expensive learning opportunity. Is all it was, right? It wasn't a loss because I didn't let it defeat me. It did get to me for a little bit, like I said, but then I turned around, I bounced back. I did have some beef with XRP. We haven't totally worked it out yet, but I think we're getting there. Like I said, it just hit a zone. So I jumped in, and I'm in a trade right now, and it's going my way so far. But yeah, it was expensive, man. It was an expensive learning opportunity, and now I know I can't be greedy. I'm gonna try to be a little bit more conservative. This should have been a slap in the face and just been like, bro, like, check yourself. But instead, I'm like, no, I was right. It hit my target. At the end of the day, it hit my target, right? So I knew what I was looking at, and it hit my target. So now I just have to work on my position sizes and my positioning, and just again, trying to control that greed. So yeah.
Most definitely, Mike. This is a great, transparent lesson. I appreciate you sharing that. First of all, how many people in the chat can relate? Give me a 111 in the chat if you did the perfect analysis, right? You put your lot sizes in there. You're in the trade. You get some drawback. Open up new entry points. You open up anchors, right? Then what ends up happening is that you get a margin call, or even you get discouraged and you get out the trade yourself. Give me 111 in the chat if you've done that before. Okay. And then what ends up happening the next day or the next hour, the trade, you get a nice bullish candle or a nice bearish candle, and it hits your target mark. And your analysis was correct. Okay. Your analysis was correct, but your psychology was the part that needed to be worked on. And that's why we always say that 80% of this whole entire game is the psychology. It doesn't matter how good your analysis is. If you're stepping out of risk management, then you're going to burn that account. Okay. It doesn't matter how good you are as a trader. If you're not properly using the right lot sizes in comparison to your account balance, or you don't have the right patience, then you're going to possibly end up blowing your account or losing that trade, even though you have the correct analysis, guys. So the way that you learn and help your psychology, I always say the way that helped me is that I went 6 months on a demo account. Now, I don't know how many people are willing to take that type of sacrifice. All right. But 6 months on a demo account allowed me to put myself in a position where I become somewhat an emotionless trader. Like I trust my trade, and I'm not perfect. Believe me, I still have my weak moments, but that helped me out a lot. That helped me move to the next level. So I would say, guys, I appreciate Mike with your transparency. Mike has always been an excellent trader. Mike has always been an excellent trader, but he's admittingly saying, I am a risky trader. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's risky traders out there, and there's people who hit that big boom. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is his style. That's the style that he trades with, that resonates with his personality. And that's what this whole game is about. Eventually, you guys are going to take what we teach, take the 8 confirmations, take the markups, and you're going to actually apply it to your own personality and your own strategy that actually ends up working for you. Okay. But the idea of it is to give you a backbone. We have our strategies are back tested. The way that we trade is very accurate, but eventually you're going to have to apply that to your own personality in regards to your greed, your patience, and your discipline. Okay. So you can have higher accuracy on the trades. And again, this is a learned thing. This is something that has to be practiced through repetition. It has to be practiced on your demo account. And that's why we always say, guys, attending these live sessions, 1 live session a day, that's an hour a day. You're getting 7 hours a week in chart time, 28 hours a month in chart time. That's a lot of chart time. Okay. In 90 days, guys, you almost did, what's that, about 86 hours in chart time or 84 hours in chart time? That's a lot of chart time in 3 months. Okay. Now start talking about, 6 months or a year. The way that you become a good trader is by repetition and consistency of beating on your craft over and over and over and over again, attending, taking your losses, failing forward, taking your losses, failing forward. Okay. Learning from those losses, making adjustments. As when you hear Mike Spycheck talk, did you hear all of the adjustments that he recognized he can make now if that he got put in that situation again? He ran off like 4 or 5 of them. If I would have did this, this would have happened. If I would have had one more lot, this would have happened. But that's now he knows why he lost. It's one thing to just lose and it's gone. But when you pinpoint 4 or 5 different things of adjustments you could have made, that's a lesson. That is a lesson, a valuable lesson that you got from that you couldn't have got from anything else. And the only way that you could get it, and if losing that type of money doesn't get your attention for the lesson, then what will, right? Because that is a lesson. But at the end of the day, if you did it before, you could do it again. You could take $1,000 to 13,000 again. You could take. I mean, you already know what our brother Alfonso recently did, okay, which is incredible. So we know that these things are possible, okay, but we have to focus on the knowledge, focus on the lesson, all right, and understand that this is part of the process and this is a marathon, it's not a race. Go ahead, Mike. It sounded like you were trying to say something, brother.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say I have two main things that I wanna 2 main points I just want to say real quick before I jump off. One is everybody's in a different place in their trading journey, right? So don't compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 10. You never know, right? Like don't look at me and be like, oh, he took 1,300 to 13,000. Like, how come I can't do that and stuff like that? Don't do that, right? Like DJ Khaled said, don't play yourself, right? You never know. You never know where people are. You never know what they're doing behind the scenes. Like some of y'all on here may be studying 4 hours a day versus somebody else who gets on here for 30 minutes a day. Of course, the person studying for 4 hours is most likely going to have more of an arsenal than somebody who's only doing 30 minutes a day, right? So that was point number 1. And point number 2 is I encourage everybody, regardless of your skill level. And I know Joe, all the master analyzers can attest to this, like trade, demo, right? Use your strategies to test and demo, but don't open up a demo account with $10,000 if you're never going to open up a real account with $10,000. Don't trade, don't trade a standard lot size, right? For some of y'all 1.0, don't trade a standard lot size if you're never going to trade a standard lot size, right? If your account is only $1,000, don't trade 10% of that on one trade. Use proper risk management. And the demo account is there to help you practice all of these strategies but don't worry about the outcome. Don't worry about how much you're making. Don't worry about how much you're losing, right? Unless you're going to take that and take into account like what you're doing wrong. Like, why are you losing? Like Kenny said earlier, right? If you're losing consistently, why? You know, if you have to, create a trading journal. For every trade you take, put on there why you took that trade. What were the confirmations you saw that made you take that trade? That way, even if you lose the trade, you can go back and say, hey, well, all these confirmations were there, so that's why I took it. Doesn't mean it was a bad trade. It just means the market went against you, right? We can't control the market. So if you're gonna, when you use demo, open it up with the same amount that you're gonna really put in your account, right? If you're gonna open up an account with $500, open up a demo with $500. Use the same strategies, take the same trades, do everything the same. That way, when you transition from the demo to a real account, there's no difference, right? The emotion's the same, the thought process is the same, everything is the same. So I see some people that open up demos with $100,000 accounts and then they trade, 10 standard lots on a trade and they don't know what they're doing. And it's just like, what is that really teaching you, right? It's teaching you bad habits. It's teaching you to do things that you're not gonna really do in real life. Like I took a position in Bitcoin the other day, and and of course I wasn't thinking. Sometimes I don't sit there and do the calculations, right? Some of you guys still don't understand how to calculate spread. That is a huge deal, especially if you're trading crypto, right? And then some of you guys don't understand, you're trying to take 10 pips, but you're not including the spread in that 10 pips. So you're like, well, I set my TP for 10 pips and I still came out negative. Like, how is that? Because the spread, right? Depending on what time of the day you're trading a certain currency, the spread is gonna jump. So I put in a position in Bitcoin and I didn't even look at the spread. I didn't care. I just saw an opportunity and I took it. And lo and behold, like I look at my drawdown, and as soon as I opened up the trade, I was negative $1,000. Right? Some of y'all, that's your whole account. You go negative 1 or 2 pips and you're out. So I've done that before on accident. I was so quick to jump in a trade that I put the wrong lot size. I did, and for some of y'all that know indices, your heart's about to drop. I did instead of a 0.03, I accidentally did a 3 standard lot on US 30 one time. 15 seconds wiped out 50% of my account. As soon as I jumped in the trade, I was like, oh crap, and margin called me immediately. So that was a quick $4,000 loss in not even 30 seconds. It was more like 15 seconds because I was so quick to try to jump in a trade. So, like Kenny says, be patient, take your time, understand what you're doing. It's not a race, it's a marathon, 100%. If you miss an entry, wait for a pullback, then jump in the entry if it still looks good. Like, don't force the trade. Like I said, if you force the trade, the market is always 100% there to let you know it's there. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys. I hope some of y'all were able to take something from this. Again, the best teacher sometimes, most of the time, is somebody else's experience. That way you don't have to go through that. And that's why, like, anytime I jump on a call, I'm going to be 100% transparent with you guys, because I'm not here to show you the glitter and gold, right? I'm here to show you that, but I'm also here to show you like what's real. That way you understand exactly like what to expect, right? So I appreciate you, Kenny.
I appreciate you too as well. And also, Mike, that's what Coffee with G.O.B.E is for. It doesn't feel good to just get it off your chest a little bit.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
For sure.
It feels good. That's what Coffee with G.O.B.E is for, guys. Okay. We're going to turn all this to smiles and lessons, okay, and positive energy that we're going to apply to our trade game. So salute to you, brother, for sharing
Appreciate
that.
it.
Thank you for sharing.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes, indeed. So we got a couple other people that we want to go ahead and bring up. I haven't spoke to Carlos this morning, but he looks like he's out there in the wilderness doing something. So Carlos, what are you doing out there? Are you hunting? What are you doing out there, brother?
Just getting my mother nature on real quick.
You know, it's the best way. But I like getting mother medicine, you know, so I get my medicine, and then it just rejuvenates the health of my day, you know. So this is a part of my little meditation deal that I like to do, you know. But as far as what Mike was saying, everything does come down to risk management, you know. If you have to properly know, you know, exactly what Kenny said, your discipline, your greed, you know, and your patience. One thing that I advise and I highly suggest everybody that is a beginner, one thing that Kenny, myself, and everybody has seen is anybody that has particularly ever blown an account, they've done it because they decided to go ahead and start. They started going through the live sessions. They started going through, you know, of course, everything that we bring in G.O.B.E Trade House. And then they go and they start trading on their own without proper risk management. So if you're a beginner, keep it simple. Only trade live sessions. Only trade live sessions, because you are more prone to go out there and blow your account if you start doing stuff on your own because of lack of awareness, you know? So just keep that in mind, you know, that if you really want to go ahead and be successful to begin with as a beginner, is just trade with Joe, trade with Kenny, trade with the live sessions, you know, because that's what they're put in place for. You go out there trading on your own, thinking that you're you know, a genius trader right off the bat, you're gonna get that margin call that you don't expect, because you probably don't even understand margin as a beginner. You know, what is margin? How does it operate? You know, initially you're getting, you know, money from your actual broker, where they're allowed to leverage the money that you already have with the broker. So you just have to understand, take the live sessions, keep your patience up to par, keep your greed up to par, and then make sure that you strategize with your G.O.B.E family before you go out there and blow your account, okay? Now, of course, eventually you'll get on the zone. Like what Mike said, if you have a person that's doing 4 hours of education, it's gonna differ from the person who's not even tapping into any of the live trade sessions, who isn't tapping into G.O.B.E Trade House. So just keep that in mind. But other than that, I wanted to keep it super simple because it's already on the dot. I'm pretty sure that we have some more people on the panel, and I'm a little out of breath from the wilderness, you know. So Kenny, I'll go ahead and hand it back over to you. And after this, I'm gonna get home, take a shower, get back on the back office stuff that we're working on right now.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Carlos. It looks like it feels really good outside this morning too.
Starting to get hot.
Beautiful day outside in Houston.
Yeah,
definitely. All right. Well, thank you for that information, Carlos. And yes, sir. So I want to go ahead and pass it for a moment to our brother Joe Threats. Joe, how you feeling this morning, brother?
I'm doing well. Good morning, everybody. I just want to piggyback off of what Mike said, because there's a lot of stuff that he said that he kind of like that people probably don't even realize, right? He talked about, you know, not being able to make the live sessions because of the fact that you know, he want to spend time with his family, spend time with his wife. Now I dig deeper and deeper than that, because at one point I was married, and so I kind of knew how balancing things take place, right? Well, just imagine him taking that $13,000 loss and not spending time with his wife. It would have probably just made the situation a whole lot worse. But by having balance with his family, his wife was more understanding because he has the priorities straight. As far as that go, he know that she probably understands. She knows that this is a skill that happens sometimes, but he spends time with his wife to where it kind of offsets these type of issues. Or I ain't gonna call it an issue, but these learning lessons. So I'm pretty sure she was a whole lot more forgiving because he spends time with her. He puts the laptop down, he puts the phone down. And I'm pretty sure at times he probably still have to check his phone if he's in an open trade, but the balance is what's gonna be the most important thing. And that's not only with the person that's in a relationship, that's with the person that's single like myself now. Finding that balance is gonna be key. You can't be in front of the laptop all day, even though you wanna try to make money all day. That's not the most important thing. If you skipping out on your exercising, and you skipping out on sleep, you skipping out on eating food because you in these charts, it's going to be detrimental to your whole trading because you need sleep for your mental health, you need exercise for your mental health, and you need food for nutrition, right, to keep your body, moving. So balance is going to be very key whenever we talk about, trading. Make sure you have that work-life balance or whatever. Um, and then Mike also talked about he knows he identifies himself as a risky trader. Everyone that's beginning out, you need to identify yourself what type of trader you're going to be. Are you going to be that person that's going to be able to stomach those $1,900, right into the negative, those red numbers that you see pop up as soon as you open up a trade? Or are you going to be that person that's going to be, soon as you see that $2 in a negative or that 4 pip, loss or whatever, are you going to stop? Like, you got to identify what type of trader you're going to be. Are you going to be that retest trader? You're going to be the trader that's going to jump soon as it breaks the trend? But identify with yourself what type of trader you're going to be. And that's going to help solve a whole lot of different issues. Know what pairs you want to work with. It's several different pairs that have certain spreads. So for beginners, you might want to find it out. I should be doing a lunch and learn eventually on certain pairs that have, talking about spreads of that nature as well. That's going to be good for a beginner trader because all pairs aren't made equal. Aren't all cryptos and currencies and indexes aren't made equal. So know what type of trader you're going to be is going to be another thing. And then pretty much what I want to say, talked about meditation. You see Carlos, he has a daily routine of going out and getting his mental clarity to start his day off. And then he's going to go back and go to work. But this is actually where work begins for him, is in the nature. Find something that's going to allow you to like decompress, allow you to not think about anything, but be mindful of that present moment that you're in. And that's going to allow you to be more effective moving forward for the rest of your day. So that means don't open up your phone if you, as soon as you wake up, to look at Facebook and you see negative news or gossip, things of that nature. Use that first 10 minutes to thank God or whoever you believe in first for waking up, and then think about your vision and how you're going to get there for the day. So use that as those first 10 to 20 minutes going to be very essential to your life. I always talk about that. And then also, everyone that's a new beginner trader, man, you're in a great spot. Women, men, you're in a great spot because of the fact that it's a lot of us that share our experience with you, so you don't make those same mistakes. And hopefully you take this information and use it, because we've already made the mistakes. Mike made the mistakes. I've blown accounts. Kenny blown accounts. Everybody that's been trading for over 6 months have blown accounts. But if we tell you if we tell you how we lost those accounts, it's because of greed, not being disciplined, and at some point being risky. But you don't have to be that type of person. But if that's the type of person you want to be, just know that that's going to come with the territory of blowing accounts. So overall, just know what type of trader you're going to be. Make sure you have balance in your work life, and then also meditate and things of that nature. And then the last thing I want to say is the number one skill in life is not giving up. So not saying we're not talking about anything personal, but as far as trading goes, don't give up on this, because it's a skill that's going to set you free if you're not already free now. So for myself personally, just by learning the skill set, I feel like if I lose money, I'll be okay with it, because in fact I know I can make it right back in the market, because I've been applying myself to the market, and whatever I put into it, I'm gonna get back out of it. So it's definitely something that I don't really think about too much of anymore. It's just a matter of actually being plugged in, like Alfonso say all the time, be plugged in. If you plugged in, you see the results that you can get. You might not need to make the 100,000 in one day, because you might not be ready to make 100,000 in one day. But if you're ready to make $100 in one day, that's great. And build from there. So overall, that's all I wanted to say. Everybody go be great. We will have more lunch and learns on risk management, on spreads, on margins, and leverage as well. But I do want to get some more knowledge, I guess you can say, as far as like being able to teach it, because it's one thing to know it, but being able to teach something is a whole nother ball game. So that's all I have for today. And I will see everybody on the Lunch and Learn soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Joe, for dropping those nuggets. And not only on the Lunch and Learns, but in the G.O.B.E Academy, we are going to have video modules on risk management, on spreads, and going more into the psychology of a successful trader. All right, how to control your greed, patience, discipline, and real tools that you can apply to your game to help control those things, because these are natural human instincts. And as we always say, in the trading world, whatever personality you have, okay, the trading world is going to enhance it. So if you're already kind of greedy, then Forex is going to test you to a point where the greed is going to expose itself even more on these charts. If you're already an impatient person, it's going to expose itself even more because of how the Forex and how this game is set up. Okay. And if you already lack discipline, this is going to test your discipline more than anything ever. Okay. So you actually not only become a better person by learning this skill, okay, because of these parts of your personality, but these parts of your personality, once you have them in control with the proper tools, is going to help you make more money. Okay. It's going to help you make more money consistently. And that's what this is all about. So we have one more brother we want to bring up before we close out for today. It's been another powerful coffee with G.O.B.E. And we got an announcement, and then we're going to get out of here. All right. But I want to go ahead and bring up our brother, Mike Taylor. Mike Taylor, how you feeling this morning?
Why you laughing, Kitty?
Nothing, man. You look happy, man. It's making me smile. It's good to see you smiling this morning. Looking happy, brother. How you doing?
Good. Nah, Kitty, I got Kitty nervous over there. I texted him and I said, hey man, I said, I understand balance, but I said I got a little spin on that from my perspective. He said he gonna send me an emoji. Oh Lord, I'm scared to death, man. What are you about to say? You know? But I'll get to that in a second. But I actually got my own little trading story that I want to talk about because it's actually kind of funny to me. And so what happened is the other day, I was, I got to the point where I'm attempting to read the charts. You know what I'm saying? I still don't know exactly what I'm looking at, but I do understand that, I done got to a point now. I'm like, look, you know what I'm saying? Quit trying to make it so difficult. It's either going to go up or down. Like even I can just push the button right now and I got a 50% chance. So you already halfway there. So if you're looking at the charts and you see it trending up, then obviously that's a sell. And if it's trending down, it's you know what I'm saying? Trending up by down sell. So I was looking at Bitcoin and I'm kind of familiar with it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to jump in on this buy. And I actually took my account, long story short, I took it from like $20 all the way to 100. Then I took it from 100 to like 300 and into the 4. And then the other day, and I think I told y'all this yesterday, that it had actually drew all the way back. And I'm not making this up. Like this is one of them stories where I can't say it was God because I really didn't even care about the money. I had already accepted the loss, but it had went back so far that my margin level said 18 cents, meaning that if it goes back 18 more cents, it's about to kick me out this trade. And so I had already gave up, went to bed. Y'all forget it, man. I lost, man. I learned I got to be more, I got to be more. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I accepted it, right? So I had went to bed. I woke up the next morning and it actually went up in profit. I was like, oh man, I'm on, you know what I'm saying? So I said, okay, the only thing I need to do now is I just need to figure out this margin level thing to make sure I can handle the pullback. And man, it's over with, right? I got this. So I took that 100 up. I kept on going in. I kept looking at the charts. I'm like, oh, it's still going up. Okay, now it's about to go down for the next 15 minutes. Let me jump back in. I'm thinking I'm printing money hour on the hour, y'all. I think I got it going on. Last night, I messed around and fell asleep, and it wasn't no stop loss on that bad boy. And even though it kept dropping, there is certain periods where it was going up, then it come down and it go up. And one of the times it went up, I was in the sale, man, it cleared that whole bad boy. And I couldn't do nothing but laugh. I wasn't mad. I just felt like I learned something. You know what I'm saying? So the lesson I learned is I had to stop being greedy because if y'all notice, I kept going in. Like on one trade, I had made like a couple $100. I could have easily said, hey, I'm good for the day. Like, think about it. You know what I told myself? I said, you know what? If I already got a 50% chance anyway, and even though I don't understand all the 8 confirmations and stuff, just by me looking at, what I'm looking at. You know what I'm saying? I do have my own way of confirming things. I think I'm getting pretty decent for somebody who don't really know what they're doing already to even make the money I made. So I was like, you know what? Instead of me trying to come up, because even if I would have made $5,000, I wasn't gonna pull it out. So why was I trying to be so greedy right away? Why did I have to make so much right away? So now when I do win a trade and I do say because I like Bitcoin, I ain't gonna lie. I kind of understand it. I'm not scared of it no more. I just know now if I do get in the trade, I better watch it, and I need to make a decision on how much I'm gonna lose. If it go back, if I make a decision, hey, I'm trying to make $100, but if it go back 40, I'm out. Then when it hit 40, I gotta really be out. You know what I'm saying? I can't play with it and just go back and swing again. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that I'm not giving anybody trade tips. I just want to be clear. I'm just telling you how my mind worked and what I've been doing. But I'm gonna get back in the game, and I learned my lesson. But that was pretty fun. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as spending on what Kenny said earlier, Kenny said that if you go 1 hour, this is actually a spin on everything. What Kenny said, what Mike said, and what Joe said, because it all kind of goes in one. Kenny said if you go to one live session a day for 7 days a week, that's 28 hours a month, right? And that's a lot of chart time, right? And Mike had brought up the fact that, hey, sometimes he have to miss chart time because he want to balance his life with family, which is fine. And Joe kind of reiterated the same thing. Now, anybody, if you haven't figured it out from my personality, if you ain't been on enough of these calls, I have a serial entrepreneur mindset, right? So I want to give you another side of it. Me, when I want to get results on something, right? When I really want to get results, then I don't like to really go on like what ifs or maybes. I like to be able to calculate a time frame and when could this actually possibly be done, worst case scenario. So one thing I've learned is whenever you want to be an expert at something, right? Let's just say you want to master something. Like I want to be the best at this. You can research this. It's a 10,000 hour rule. Now, I don't know how true that is, but I think common sense, if you do something for 10,000 hours, you're pretty good at it, right? So when Kenny said the thing about the 28 hours, I started doing some calculations. And when I started, the more and more I started to break the numbers down, everything started to make sense. It was so many things. I was like, this is cold. So let's just say you did that 1 hour a day, right? The math on that is that you would do 567 hours a year, right? Which means if you wanted to be an expert trader, which means not talking about taking our trades, because you're going to hit 80, 85, 90% of your trades just by copying and pasting our trades. So I just want to make that clear. You're going to make money regardless if you decide to become an expert or not, but we're talking about being an expert. And let me cut this off. And we talking about being an expert, we talking about being the very best at something. We talking about being the LeBron James, the Michael Jordan, the Tom Brady of your sport, being the top, being somebody that like, hey, people are seeking after. They want to know, they want to get your trades because they like, hey, you hitting 99% of your stuff. You know stuff that people don't know about these markets. You want to get to that point. Give me some money bags if at some point in your life you want to get to that point. Where it's like you feel like you know it all. Like you could just wake up and just look at the charts. Boom, I got this. I can just print money anytime I feel like it on any pair. You want to get to that point, right? But if you want to get to this point, I actually did the math on you. So now, if you're gonna do 1 hour a day, 7 days a week, 365 days, it's gonna approximately take you. It's gonna take you 17 years. Now, to be honest with you. Let's just say, I don't know what the average age in here, but let's just say you was 33. Hey, if at 50, you a master trader, you're going to be a billionaire. So like, I don't think that's a bad deal, especially if you're only doing this very, very part-time. However, let's just say you want to speed that process up. Well, the math starts to get easy. Then add an extra hour. You add an extra hour, it don't have to take 17 years. Now, I'm not saying it has to take this long period. We're talking about guarantees with the 10,000 hour rule. Now, if that's the case, then if I add an extra hour, that 17 goes to 8.5 years, right? Now, 8.5 years, still not a bad deal if you're going to become that level of trader, right? However, if I add 3 hours a day, right? Let me look at my math. Now we're looking about, it's like 4 and 3 months, but let's just say 4 years, right? So now in 4 years, with 3 hours a day, you a boss trader. I think we starting to get somewhere now, right? Give me some money bags in 4 years. Because like I said, we're not talking about getting good at it. We're talking about getting great at it. In 4 years is a good deal if you only put in 3 hours a day. Now, I'm gonna tell you, I don't know if Alonzo is on here, but I'm gonna try to get him to confirm something at the end of this. Now,
Alfonso.
I mean, Alfonso, I keep messing up this brother's name, bro. I don't know why I want to call this man.
I'm looking for Alonzo. Y'all see him?
Alonzo, ever since I don't know. I don't know. Because I don't be reading. I just listen to sounds, I guess. And I don't know. I'm tripping. I ain't gonna forget it now. Alfonso with the PH. I got you, brother. Now, check this out. So now if you do 4 hours a day, it'll take you 2 years. If you did 5 hours a day, it'll take you a year. And if you did 6 hours a day, maybe 6 months, maybe 3 months, I don't know. Now, Alonzo told us that he's been trading. I mean, Mr. Patton told us that he's been trading for about 3 or 4 months, right? Now, the way that this man be on these calls, the way I see this man in a police car on the charts, you know what I'm saying? This man be at work on the charts. I see the brother. So I'm willing to bet money that this man been putting at least 4 to 8 hours a day on the charts consistently. Tell me I'm lying, Alfonso.
Actually, real life, I put in, that's minimum. Sometimes I'll be on the charts all day. Like when I sat there in that car and made that 37,000, I was literally on the charts the whole shift. I didn't do no work. And I'm on the calls with you guys, and I'm charting up with brothers in the background, Vince, and you know, we get on calls, and a lot of us, we get on calls, and I'm charting up with everybody. I'm charting up with John Paul. I'm reaching out to the community because the community is there for us to reach out to. So of course, you know what I'm saying? Just to confirm, yes, I'm on it. I used to say an hour a day, but bro, you get in them charts, man, time fly like this. Back to you, Mike.
Hey, I'm just glad you confirmed what I already thought. So now my math is right. So I was right. You know what I'm saying? Even when I go back to when I first started marketing, the reason why I wasn't scared is because I had faith in my math off top. I had told myself, I said, look, I said, because that's why I had guaranteed myself that I would be pretty much, and me and my son laugh about this all the time because I'm going to be 40 in 3 months. And like, my whole goal was to be getting 6 figures before 40. I said, I would be to did way over 10 hours before 40. So I said 10,000 hours. And I say, by that time, I'll be to figure out how to get 6 figures out of here. And we here, you know what I'm saying? So same thing with this. So now you have to decide how fast you want to be successful. So now that I said that math slow, I'm going to say that math fast for you real quick. If you want it to take 17 years, do 1 hour a day. If you want it to take 8 years, do 2 hours a day. If you want it to take 4 years, do 3 hours a day. If you want it to take 2 years, do 4 hours a day. If you want it to take a year, do 5 hours a day. And if you want to do it right now, then do as much as you can over 6 hours, period. And just go for it, you know what I'm saying? And I'll leave it with that, you know what I'm saying? I see you guys at 5:30 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to have a great team building and self-development meeting today. Looking forward to it. I'll see you guys on. Thanks a lot. We also got, is today Tuesday? Yep. We got Power Hour tonight as well, 8 p.m. Central Time. Hey, I want you guys to make a commitment to bring at least 2 people to Power Hour tonight. Just 2. Invite 10 and get 2 commitments. I'm going to tell y'all the speech that I always tell people. I'm going to go ahead and say it real quick. This is all you got to do. Hit somebody up that say that you know supposed to care about you and know you, that's friends with you, and say, hey, friend, girlfriend, homeboy, whatever. Say, look, hey, if I'm graduating tomorrow, would you come support me? If I open up a new restaurant, would you come support me? They're going to say, yeah. I say, okay, great. I don't need you to buy me a gift. I don't need you to buy no clothes or get dressed or go get your hair cut or get your hair done or come to some graduation or buy me a gift or nothing. I don't even need you to leave the house. All I need you to do at 8 p.m., I need you to click on this link. And I want you to check out my new business because this is way more important to me than any graduation. And I need your support. And we can talk about it afterwards. You ain't even got to buy nothing, but I at least want you to see what I got because I'm very, very excited about this. And if they care about you, they'll be on. Go be great.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. So whenever we were in the chat, I knew you had something special there, brother. That was powerful. That was powerful because he proved it on both sides. Because he showed you an example for himself personally of putting 10,000 hours on how to sell, how to market, how to build a successful online subscription-based business to six-figure business before the age of 40. And he did it by applying 10,000 hours. And then he just brought up Alfonso and showed you how you could do that on the charts as well in a matter of a couple months of the brother sacrificing hours and hours and hours of the day to lock in on his strategy and locking on his confidence. And now he's becoming a master trader as well. So there's two sides of the fence that it's been proved on, all right, with inside of G.O.B.E Trade House. Go ahead, Mike.
I got one nugget that I had forgot. I wanted to get this nugget out, and I wanted to get it out so it came out normal, like I didn't save it. But I'll go ahead and tell y'all I saved it. Here's the nugget. Think about it. Why do you think they work you 8 to 10 hours a day at your job? Because they want you to become an expert ASAP. Get you good at it, but they not finna pay you like a.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I never thought of that. I never thought of it. But now since I know the math, I'm definitely going to be looking at things totally different. So, but also going back to what Mike and what Joe and everyone's talking about, you know, having that balance, guys, but you got to figure it out. You got to figure out what is your will, like how bad do you want it? What is your why? Okay. It all boils down to your why. Okay. It boils down to your reason of why you're in this business. Not everybody's in this business just to make money. Okay. I mean, you're using money as a resource to accomplish goals for your family, for your children, for your parents, to pay off debt. What is your why? Okay. The key is having that emotional attachment to the whole reason why you're in this thing in the first place. And whatever how big your why is, that's going to allow you to make the type of sacrifice necessary to accomplish that. Okay. So shout out to Alfonso, shout out to Mike Taylor. That was a great explanation, all right, of how to do this. And Vincent, I see you got the baby there real quick. Can you show that flyer really fast? I don't know if you're able to, if you can multitask, show us that flyer. Vincent showed me a really good flyer yesterday. I want you guys to see it.
I had one to show y'all. I went downstairs and came back up. This little guy poured water all on it. So, but I got no. But it still look good though. But check it. I'm about to go out today, try to flood the market with these joints. This the front. Got my website on it. Links it back to G.O.B.E Trade House. I got a little QR code that takes you to the YouTube video that you know, explains the opportunity for the lazy people, you know, that don't want to come. Then you flip it over. Boom. I got Carlos, Kenny, Chica, and D gonna make me a lot of money. Got it looking nice. So yeah, y'all can make y'all some flyers like this, man. And I'm just gonna go to gas stations and just hand them out to everybody that I see. Everybody.
Powerful. So that right there is a plan. All right, you're gonna get some nice residuals created off of those flyers. Those are nice, guys. All right, that's that hand-to-hand combat, getting out there and forcing the issue. Okay, because there's people out there right now working at Kroger that need that flyer. There's people out there working at Subway that need that flyer. Jack in the Box, right? And these people could be the next master traders. They just don't know there's another way. So he's going to be able to go body to body and touch people personally, introduce himself, let them feel the presence and hand it to him. And if he hands it out to 100 people, what if 10 people get started, guys? That's $600 a month added in residual income, or $500 a month in residual income just off the flyers that probably cost them 20, 30 bucks. Okay. So there's so many ways that you could flip this. But thank you, Vincent, for sharing that. All right. Other than that, guys, I'm going to thank everybody for attending Coffee Morning with G.O.B.E. It's been another powerful one. All right. And we're definitely going to, Joe, do we have a lunch and learn today?
Yeah, we can take a 10-minute intermission. We'll get back started and we'll do 9 minutes. So everybody will grab a snack and then we'll get back to it. We'll be going over some indicators.
Nice, nice. So Guys, lunch and learn, very powerful. All right. A small group, 30-minute study session happening now. All right. To add to your game daily. So thank you, Joe. We're going to do that. And then we have our power hour tonight at 8 o'clock. Invite. And then we following up right after that, we got a live Asian session where we'll continue with Run the Bag Challenge. All right. Trade number 6 and trade number 7. Okay. And then the London session. All right. A lot of events in Go.B Trade House. So just make your schedule within the schedule. Let's make this thing happen. Peace, everybody. Have a great day. See you on the Lunch and Learn. Go be great. Go be a beast. Signing out. God bless. See you next time.
Go beast mode, everybody.
Go be great.
Be great.